Do you like traveling? For me, being able to travel is the reason I work so hard. Seeing the world and experiencing new places is what life is all about. I also love learning about geography and history, so traveling to those places and seeing them with my own eyes is really important to me. What's your favorite type of holiday? I don't usually take the typical beach and a cruise kind of holiday. When my dad travels, for example, he doesn't want to care or think about anything because his job is stressful. He wants to just get away from it all and rest. On the other hand, I want to get off the beaten track and have unique experiences. What do you do on holidays? I like to travel to places of interest with rich history. Because I like reading, one of my favorite things to do is visit the places famous writers lived in. But sometimes they can be tourist traps. I don't care much for visiting tall buildings like the Empire State Building because it charges a lot of money and it takes a long time to reach the top. Are there many tourists visiting your country? There are so many tourists coming to the USA every year, but I think most of them go to California, or New York, or Boston, or Florida. My hometown is close to Boston. It's a little state called New Hampshire. There aren't many tourist attractions. People usually come if they want to go skiing or hiking. Some people may come for the shopping, though, because we don't have a sales tax. Describe a tourist attraction you once visited. You should say when you visited it, where is it situated, who you went with, and say what about it you like the most. One tourist attraction I visited was the Great Wall of China. Actually, I've been there many times because I lived in Beijing for a long time. And I'd have friends come and visit me, so of course I had to take them to the Great Wall. The last time I went to the Great Wall was with my dad, and we visited on a hot summer day. The sun was brutal. I think I've been to the Great Wall in every season. It's pretty convenient to get there from Beijing, but I don't recommend going to the restored parts of the wall unless you want to deal with the hordes of tourists. It's better if you hire a private driver who can take you to parts of the wall that fewer people visit. If you go in the spring, the views are breathtaking. One of the things that I like about it the most is how it's so steep in certain areas. It can be pretty scary going up those parts, though I just love thinking about all of the people who were involved making it and how much effort it must have taken. It just makes me think about how really amazing it is. Why do you think tourism is so developed now? Well, a lot of people who didn't have the means to travel before now are able to afford it. Traveling has become a lot cheaper and faster. Even young people can afford to travel if you don't mind staying in youth hostels. The internet has also made it easy to book a trip. How do people choose their destination? I can't speak for everyone, but I choose places that have a long history. For example, I love visiting old Roman cities in Europe. There's also a wonderful Roman bath in England that's fascinating to visit. I don't tend to use travel agencies much because planning the trip is something that I particularly enjoy. What kind of transport do you prefer on holidays? The best way to travel is always by plane if your destination is far away, but the bus or the train can be convenient if you're only traveling a few hours. When I lived near Boston, I could take the bus to New York and it would only take me 4 or 5 hours. That was way easier than flying because I could avoid the hassle of going to the airport. Do you prefer traveling alone or in groups? I don't like traveling in groups at all. I hate the feeling of having a rigid schedule and not having the freedom to change my plan on a dime if I wanted to. Traveling with friends is perfectly fine though, since you can still have some flexibility. If you travel alone, it can feel a little lonely, but At the same time, there's something magical and exhilarating about being in a new place by yourself. What life is all about. With my own eyes. Get away from it all. Get off the beaten track. Tourist traps. Tourist attractions. Hordes of tourists. Breathtaking views. Youth hostels. Book a trip. Travel agencies. Avoid the hassle. On a dime. Exhilarating. Being flexible. Having flexibility. Thanks for listening, everybody, and I'll see you next time.